Hey watch lovers, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers. And today I have two more Omegas for us to take a look at. On my left, the 41mm Omega Aqua Terra, and on my right, the 41mm Seamaster 300 Heritage. So someone emailed me and said all the reviews I was looking at, different stuff, I could never find anything comparing a 41 Aqua Terra to the Seamaster 300 Heritage model specifically. So today I happen to have both blue. I have a black 300 Heritage, but I did not have the black 41 Aqua Terra, so I'm going to go with the blue today, comparing the two of these. And quickly, case dimensions. Diagonally across this case, 41 millimeters. What do we have? 40.2 just across the polished bezel. So you can see here, the bezel does sit on top of the case, so slightly smaller across that bezel at 40.2. And then the crystal, 35 millimeters across on just the crystal itself. Compared to the 300 here, we have 41 diagonally across the case. Again, 41 evenly across the aluminum bezel. And then a 31 millimeter crystal. So we have a slightly larger crystal here by a couple millimeters on the Aqua Terra, which is going to make up for that bezel as far as the way they look, I think, and feel when I put these on wrist. We have a 13.5 millimeter case thickness, compared to 14.1 on the diver. And part of that case thickness, I'll tell you now, is we have 150 meters of water resistance out of the Aqua Terra, and we have 300 out of our Seamaster 300 Heritage. So double the water resistance is going to make up, I'm sure, for some of that case thickness. Again, pretty close though. 47.7 lug tip to lug tip, 48 on the 300. So again, pretty close on case thickness, pretty close on lug to lug. However, visually, I do think they wear and look different. I feel like just looking at them, the diver looks thicker due to the proportions, the bezel coming off here, as well as I feel like it looks longer as well. So I did measure them a couple times to confirm, so they are nearly identical lug to lug. 20 millimeter lug width on the Aqua Terra, 21 on the diver. 21 tapers to 18. We have a butterfly style clasp on the Aqua Terra. We do have screws for removable links. However, no micro adjustment on this clasp. So twin trigger, push button deployant on the butterfly. We have an exhibition case back housing the caliber 8900 with 60 hours of power reserve. And I mentioned 150 meters of power, or 150 meters of water resistance with a signed screw down crown here. Retail on the Aqua Terra is $5,900, and I did weigh it at 149.1 grams. So comparatively speaking, again, we have a 21 millimeter lug width, more of a drastic taper on this. So this tapers down to 16 compared to the 18 on the butterfly. However, on the Aqua Terra's butterfly clasp, however, here we just have a fold over deployant, twin trigger. Again, exhibition case back, 8912 movement. No date on this model. So 8912 movement, 60 hours of power reserve. And again, 300 meters water resistance, signed screw down crown. If you want to take a look to the signed screw down crowns, I like how you have brushed and just the logo polished. I don't know, it just sticks out more to me compared to just the all polished crown. I prefer this look. So just something to note. I doubt many of you are buying a watch because of the crown being polished or brushed, but regardless, wanted to point it out. Again, I mentioned no date, so if you want your date, the Aqua Terra is the way to go. Both bracelets have polished. The outside links here of the diver are polished, while the middle link on the Aqua Terra is polished. So you're going to get a little bit of polish, just kind of depending on your preference. And then overall dial, you have the teak dial here on the Aqua Terra, the horizontal lines going across. Nice framed date window at 6 o'clock. And I pulled this one out. I had the other blue option. Someone else has reached out and said, hey, do a review on all of the blue 41 Aqua Terras. When I have all of them, I believe there's 3. I will certainly try to do all 3. I have the other blue. This is my favorite. I just like the splash of the brighter blue, the seconds tip. Your cardinal markers, your 60, 15, 30, and 45, and then your Seamaster. I don't know. I like blue, and I think this one looks great. The blue on the diver, again, I think I mentioned in the other video, a little bit more of almost a purple hue to that blue, just a different shade. Again, I like it. Sandwich dial looks great. You have the broad hour hand on the hour hand there. And if you're not familiar with what sandwich dial means, it's actually the lume. There's a plate underneath the dial of luminous, so you can actually see they're cut out, and that lays over top of your markers as well as your 3, 6, 9, 12. So think I've hit everything. Retail on the diver is $6,700 and it weighed 152.6 grams. So about the same weight as well. So let's throw these on wrist real quick. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. We'll do the Aqua Terra first. And I'm gonna tell you, I put these both on before I started the review too, just to kind of get a feel. And my initial thoughts are, I do like the 38 Aqua Terra, but I would wear a 41, certainly without a problem. I like this fit for my wrist a lot more than I do the diver. And I don't know if it's just the additional case thickness, if it's the way it sits. This actually sits really comfortably on my wrist. I could absolutely wear this and be comfortable wearing that. The diver, on the other hand, while the specs are close, again, only about a 0.5 millimeter thicker, I do like the taper on the bracelet. However, it just doesn't sit on my wrist. With the shape of my wrist or the way it is, it doesn't sit as comfortably or as nice. And I feel like even though the lug is almost identical, it looks a lot longer on my wrist on the diver, just the shape of the lugs themselves. So again, I'm going to push that or pull this down a little bit to how I would wear it. I wear my watches relatively tight. So again, like the diver, I think this 300 Heritage is a great looking watch. Just not as good or not as comfortable as a fit for me personally. So hit the lights quick. As always, greatly appreciate you viewing. Let me know, give me the feedback for both these watches in the comments. Are you in the Aqua Terra camp, or do you really like the 300 Heritage? Obviously, the lume here on the bezel is fantastic. And I guess if I'm going to mention bezel before I wrap this up, I'll give you a quick bezel action. Is it me, or does it sound better in the dark? Maybe it's just because it looks that way. So again, thanks for viewing, and we'll see you in the next video.